Okay, so we left off process configuration rules, and we got a couple more functions to implement before we go back. Remember, we got to go back and work on the first two, which was the getter and setter. And we are going to have to go back and do that, but we can work on this for right now. So the next one that we need to implement is function get parent configuration namespace object. Configuration namespace is a parameter and optional function name appendix. Okay. And the header for that will look like this. Oh boy, this is a big header. That function get parent configuration namespace object at description navigates the configuration JSON data object tree to find the namespace of the configuration setting, comma there, and then determines the parent and returns the entire tree of the configuration data, including that parent and all its top level contents. And the type is a string, and an object or a Boolean. And this configuration namespace is described as the fully qualified path in the configuration JSON object where the configuration setting should be found. Okay, this one is an optional function name appendix that could potentially be added to the end of the function name. And I've got an example here, example ex at module font background color. Okay, and return is the parent of the object found at the specified namespace address in the configuration data object, or false if nothing was found. I'll move this one down so it's easier to read. There we go. Authorship. And date. 207. And I got this note in here, which is the same note from above. Cannot use loggers here because of a circular dependency. Okay, so next, we'll just copy paste again one of these functions up here. I'll just go to this process configuration name rules because it's nice and short. Copy that. And paste it down here. Okay, get the function name. And I'll copy paste. We got two parameters. Copy that for the second one. Configuration namespace. Bring that name down. Bring this name down. And return value needs to be JSON stringified, because it could potentially be an object. And the contents, I'll leave the let return value because we're going to need that. And I am going to set it to true. Let parent configuration namespace array equal configuration namespace dot split on the dot. Let new parent configuration name equal parent configuration. Oops, it keeps typing stuff wrong. Configuration namespace array dot top, and then let new parent configuration namespace equal parent configuration namespace array dot join dot. Those are the 3 lines that I got optimized earlier. Okay. Parent namespace config object equal get configuration namespace object get configuration names object parent configuration namespace array, and then we say if optional function name appendix is not equal to an empty string, return value equals parent namespace config object. This is an array with a backtick, $ curly brace, new parent configuration namespace dot $ curly brace, new parent configuration name $ curly brace, optional function name appendix. And I know that's a long line. So yeah, I'm just adding an else at the end of that if. And else is going to say return value. Well, actually, we can just copy paste the whole thing. Just copy that and drop it right here. Return value equals, except we're going to take off this last parameter, and everything else stays the same. And that's the end of that function. And I think we have enough time to keep going a little bit here, so we get started on the next one.
Okay.
Function get configuration namespace object. It's the one we called previously. Takes a configuration namespace and the header. Get configuration namespace object. The description is short. Navigates the configuration JSON data object tree to find the namespace configuration settings. And the type is array of string, and it's going to return an object or boolean. Configuration namespace is the path in the configuration JSON object where the configuration setting should be set or returned. And then this return is the object found at the specified namespace address in the configuration data object, or false if nothing was found. At author, at date, 2/7, and our usual note about cannot use loggers because of a circular dependency. Yeah, then we'll just copy paste another one of these. I guess I can do this one. Just That's the one right above it. Just copy paste that, drop it there, and I guess all of this can go. And this comes down. Oops, I lost my name somewhere. Let me grab the name. There's the name. Drop the name down. This guy comes down. Oh, that's already there. That's fine. This is the one that goes away. Let configuration data root equal D. Configuration. And let configuration equal configuration data root. So I'm doing a little bit of a jiggamabobber there. Okay. Not configuration path object. I'm going to put a note here. Need to handle the case that the configuration data object doesn't even exist at all. So if it doesn't exist, we need to make it configuration equals open close curly brace. That'll create it. Then we can say configuration data root equals D configuration, and configuration path object equals configuration data root for let I equal 0 less than configuration namespace dot length I plus plus. Oops, I need to implement my ifs. If, oh, this should be end if, not configuration project. And I'll go ahead and label this one as end for. Come on. Yeah, I'm sure there's a more efficient way of doing this than a for loop, possibly, probably. But that's okay. We'll figure this out. We can optimize later. In the for loop, we'll say if not configuration path object, configuration namespace I exist yet. So let's make it. Path object configuration namespace I equals open close curly bracket outside the if. Then configuration path object equals configuration path object configuration namespace and then we have one last if return value, and return value equals configuration path object, which now that I think about it is kind of redundant. I'm just going to take this if out. No, wait. Take the if out. Let's just not have that. We'll just go here and just say return value, because this is return value is set to true up here, which means it's always going to be true. So let's just go with that. Value equals config. Yep, that's the end of that. The only thing left now is to go back to our setter and our getter up here, and we start with the set. It's a lot simpler, and the get is a little bit more complicated, but they're both more complicated than what we have here.
True.
So we'll get to that. In the meantime, I guess have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, you too, man.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Later. Bye.